Welcome to the show and namaste. I want to warn you before we start the show because this is going to be quite a serious presentation. I'm going to be talking about one of the most feared books in occultism. It's called the Shams al-Marif. This book has been whispered about for centuries. Many people profess to have read this book in the same way that people profess to drink copious amounts of alcohol and live. Generally speaking, these are just exaggerations. To read the Shams al-Marif is one of the most dangerous tasks a magician can do. It was written in the 12th century by Ahmad al-Bundi, a Sufi mystic from North Africa. How can we describe this book? Part prayer, manual, grimoire, perhaps even a philosophical riddle. It's quite a lot for a book, but you have to remember for centuries this book was hidden. Why? Because it holds a truth more settling than any spell. So what's the secret? It seems quite simple, the secret, but it's incredibly complicated. Now, it's even mentioned in the Bible. Jesus said, if you had the faith of a mustard seed, you could say mountain move and it would move. So what is being described here? We're describing language is not something that takes part in reality. It participates in shaping it. Now you might think this sounds woo-woo. Obviously, most people do. But modern physics is circling the same abyss. There was a very old experiment called the double slit experiment. The light was fired at the vanes, and when nobody thought about the light just went through in any random way that it required. However, the minute they thought about the light changed its behavior. Now this observed awareness and attention collapsed light molecule. This is written down in clear English or whatever language you want to read it in, that states language, thought changes our reality. Let that sink in. Let that sink right in. To speak is to change the field, is to change everything. This is perhaps what Gurdjieff meant when he said, the world is real only when I am. He too was pointing to the hidden access where consciousness and existence meet. Why is this dangerous? It was written in the 12th, 13th century. Because the ideas of letters and sound are not inert, but alive. More than capable of bending the probabilities of the world. Which is why a single word carried across century still carries a shiver, an ancient recognition What is this word? You've heard it 100 times. You probably don't know what it means. The word is abracadabra. Children say it in playgrounds. Fake magicians say it. We say it when we're saying abracadabra. Do we really know what it means? It means, quite simply, what I speak, I create. So when you speak, you are creating your world. You are creating your thought, not the other way round. The world does not create your speak. And this is why the Shams al-Mahrif is so dangerous. Once a person understands that they have the power to create anything that they want, this book is the gateway that teaches you how. Thank you for watching the program. If you've enjoyed the program, please understand that I put a lot of time and research into each program. I'm an academic, so essentially all the research is double and triple checked. So everything on this platform is free. A lot of the information is very difficult to acquire, but I find it. Now, if you like my work, I will leave you my Bootsy channel address. You can leave a donation there. Patreon doesn't really work in Ukraine, unfortunately. But it would be very nice, and it's good for you. You leave a donation, you get the magazine, and the magazine is written by myself, and there's a lot of information there about jinn, about occultism and philosophy. Thank you for listening to me, and namaste. Abracadabra is exactly the kind of magic word that al-Bukhundi was concerned with. In the Shams al-Maghrib, words are not just signs pointing at things. They are forces. They're a letter, but they're not just a letter. It's not a dead mark on a parchment. It's a spirit. It's a name. It's not just a sound. It's power. Think about it. Every culture carries this in their institutions. In Genesis, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. In the Quran, kun fayakun, be and it is. In the mantras of India, where vibration itself is the fabric of creation, Al-Bundi stood in that same stream of thought. However, he systemized it for the Arab letters and the divine names, showing how to arrange them, write them into magic squares, then breathe them into being. Sorry about that. He breathed them into being. For him, language was not a representation, it was architecture. So when you whisper abracadabra, you're echoing Bundy's ancient conviction. What is spoken manifests. Language and reality are not separate. How you speak to your friends, how you speak to your mother, how you speak to your father, how you even speak to your God, all this affects your reality. So when you meet somebody, use the correct words, because what will happen next, you are creating. It's very difficult to understand this, but it is something, if you observe, you can see this working. This is why it is such a dangerous book, why the Shams al-Marif is feared, because words truly can create. His book teaches you how to change creation, how to become creation itself. So what about the whispers of this book? Is it dangerous? Oh my God, it's very dangerous. Not because it's some old, dead 12th century manuscript, because it's alive and it's pulsing with a very unsettling promise. It fits right in the boundary between thought and word. And believe me, the world is a great deal thinner than people care to admit. I want to speak about the divine names. The divine names of Allah, or the 99 names of God. They are not labels, but they are living forces. What does that actually mean? Well, if we're going to use a quote of Buni, the names of gods are light that descend upon the heart. Whoever repeats them with sincerity, his heart is polished as a mirror until it reflects the higher world. This is Bundy's interpretation, but one has to understand that this type of meditation, this type of mantra in the Sufi form is the repetition of God's names. But we can find the same technique in Hindu or Buddhist practice. It's where the vibration of sacred syllables is repeated until the mind, body and soul achieve the state that they wish to achieve. Now, Al-Bundy reminds us that the sounds shape the soul. And obviously, by shaping the soul, it shapes what we perceive. I want to illustrate more about what Bundy is talking about. We have to understand that he sees every Arabic letter as a spirit, a cosmic key, if you wish. To speak any letter is to set forces into motion. This is, if you wish, the Sufi science of letters, Ilim al-Hurf, the foundation of his system. So what did Bundy have to say about this? Sorry, Buni have to say about this. He said that every letter of the alphabet was a spirit. Each has a measure in creation. To speak them is to move hidden patterns of the world. How does that relate to us in the West? How does the science of letters affect us? Well, quite simply, if we understand the science of letters, then we are led directly to the tarot. Just as ancient Arabic letters hold cosmic weight, so do the Hebrew letters in the Kabbalah and the tarot's 22 trumps. It's the same with the minor arcana as well. So in the West, the Fool, the Magician, and the Tower are not just images. They are letters, they are living forces that spell out the hidden grammar of existence. When we shuffle the tarot, we draw a card And we're working with Muni's same idea that the card is a representation of the alphabet, which is itself hooked into the cosmos, hooked into the all. So essentially, it's not just a tarot card. It's a spirit. It's a person. It's something that will change. So, to conclude, what is the Shams al-Marif? Essentially, it's about knowledge and secrecy. It's not a book for everyone. In fact, al-Bahuni warns about this. He warns us very, very carefully. He says it shouldn't be used by people who will mock it or hoard it. In fact, this is what he said: knowledge is a trust. It cannot be cast before those who mock, nor hoarded by those who refuse to share. The middle way is to pass it on to those who seek with purity. Because once you understand that you can unlock the universe through your thought and power, you cannot undo this. And it's a terrible responsibility. How you speak is what you create. And it's something you can't change your mind about. This is what happens. You speak badly to me, you change our relationship, our future. You speak well to me, then hopefully our relationship and future is brighter. And this is where the mystic and the magician agree. Knowledge is not free of responsibility. To share it recklessly or betray it, to hoard it jealously, is to betray it as well. The middle way is to guard it and transmit it to those who are only ready. This is why texts like the Shams al-Marif survive. They are not mainstream. They are not easy. They move from hand to hand and heart to heart across centuries. This book is dangerous. Very, very, very dangerous. So if you read the Shams al-Marif, it's not just a book of translations and invocations, though they are there, but it's a philosophy of language and light. It says that words are not shadows of things, they are the very fabric of things. To speak them is to weave creation itself, and it doesn't matter if you're a Sufi, a Kabbalist, Christian, Tarot adept, the message is the same. The world is a text. The question is, how do you read it? And how do you create your own world? Thank you for watching the program. If you've enjoyed the program, please understand that I put a lot of time and research into each program. I'm an academic, so essentially all the research is double and triple checked. So everything on this platform is free. A lot of the information is very difficult to acquire, but I find it. Now, if you like my work, I will leave you my Bootsy channel address. You can leave a donation there. Patreon doesn't really work in Ukraine, unfortunately. But it would be very nice, and it's good for you. You leave a donation, you get the magazine, and the magazine is written by myself, and there's a lot of information there about jinn, about occultism and philosophy. Thank you for listening to me, and namaste.